Hello, and welcome to Quantum Zilch. I'm Dennis Regan. I'm the host here. We're going to start this episode off with a segment called the VQIB4KU. Now, those of you who are regular viewers here on Quantum Zilch will be able to extrapolate what that means. And for those of you who are new, I will explain. It is an abbreviation. It stands for the Very Quick Image Blaster 4000 Update. This is the Image Blaster right here. I like to use abbreviations around here because I'm trying to be more internet friendly, and on the internet you got to be fast, zip, zoom, and rapido, and the abbreviations really help us out there. So this is the Image Blaster 4000, the IB4K, and what it does, it's a machine that I have invented which will allow me, or really all of mankind, to show still pictures right here on the worldwide internet. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking that's impossible, that's fantastical, or that's just never going to happen. But I think that it can happen, and I've made some strides here in that direction. I've also had some setbacks, I'll admit it. The last time I tested out the system, it didn't work. It was a failure. I turned the system up to 12, and no image appeared on the screen. Well, let me quickly recap the way this is supposed to work. I stare at an image, and I'm wearing these goggles, these specially designed goggles with the unilateral filtering system. I stare at an image. Okay, I wear the helmet. The helmet, because I turned up the transverter box to a certain level, the helmet will scan my brain waves, sending an electrical impulse through my brain, and will capture the image. The transverter box will capture that and then send it to the monitor there for everyone out there, all of you viewers, to be able to see. It hasn't worked yet. But I know what I did wrong in the last experiment, in the last test. I inadvertently connected the red wire here to the positive terminal of the transverter box and the black wire to the negative terminal. Now, I remember when I did that with my 1982 Malibu quite a few years ago, and it completely fried the system. Here, what happened was it did some damage to the generator here in the factory, which I hope is temporary, and it also did some damage to my brain, I'm convinced. So I made some modifications to the system, the IB4K. In fact, these modifications are so significant that I have redesignated this machine as the IB4K V2, or version 2. So this update probably should have been called the VQIB4K V2U, but I didn't want to just, get confusing right from the beginning. So what's different about this? Well, it's the alarm system. I can't prevent myself from connecting the wires incorrectly. So what I've done is the next best thing. I've set up an alarm to notify me if I have done that. This is the alarm right here. It's a siren. And I've configured it to alert me if I've connected the wires incorrectly once the system gets to level 12. Now, this wasn't the first alarm system I devised. I devised this helmet light, which I put on there, and it was a flashing light, which worked fine. It worked well. The problem with it was, because of its location on the top of the helmet, when I was wearing the helmet, I was not able to see the flashing light. I was not able to make visual contact with it. So that did not work. That was a failure. And I put it in the journal as such. But this is not, I don't have to see this because this is an alarm, a siren. And one problem is, because the IB4K system itself is quite loud, I've had to make the siren exceptionally loud to be able to supersede the noise level of the IB4K. And the problem with that is it could damage my hearing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wear these specially designed noise cancellation headset, ear set, which should help prevent damage to my hearing. I'm pretty sure that it will. The problem with wearing these, is I might not be able to hear the alarm at all. So we're going to test it out, and we shall see. So before we do today's experiment, I want to talk to you a little bit about a man that I admire greatly. A man named Thomas Alva Edison. Edison, most historians agree that Thomas Edison was the greatest inventor of all time. In fact, he was so prolific that it has even been said that Edison invented inventing. He invented hundreds of useful objects. He invented the phonograph. He invented the kinetoscope, which was an early motion picture device. He invented the light bulb, the incandescent light bulb. I mean, before the light bulb, if you wanted something lit up, you had two choices. You had to either wait for the sun to come up, or you could set something on fire. That was basically it. Now, recently, some people out there have been comparing Thomas Edison and myself. And I really have to say, any comparison between Thomas Edison and myself is, quite frankly, premature. I mean, light bulb, for crying out loud. It changed the world so much. It was such a great idea that now whenever a cartoonist wants to depict a character having a great idea, he draws a light bulb over their head. Yeah, I hope that someday that the IB4K will replace the light bulb as the image that cartoonists will draw over a character's head. I do, but I have to be realistic for two reasons. One, first of all, the IB4K has not even worked yet. And you can't really be considered a great invention until you work. Okay, and even when it does get working, look, the light bulb is such a singular, beautiful, clean image that it's easy for cartoonists to draw. What are they going to do? There's so many components. There's so many components of the IB4K. What are they going to do? Draw this and the goggles and everything all over the guy's head? It's ridiculous. I don't see it happening. Not for a while. But I've read a lot about Thomas Edison, quite a bit. And he was not afraid of failure. He understood that failure was a part of success. I have a quote here from Edison. Thomas Edison said, "If I find 10,000 ways that something won't work, I haven't failed. I'm not discouraged, because every wrong attempt discarded is often a step forward." Thomas Edison is well known for his successes, but it was his failures that led to those successes. Okay, so now we're going to test out the alarm system. I'm not really concerned about whether the image appears on the screen. If it does, that's just a bonus. I'm just testing out the alarm system today. So what I want to do here first, I want to put the modified goggles on there and the ear protective devices. Put those on. One first, actually. And a little bit tangled up there. Okay, and then we'll put these are the noise cancellation devices. Then we'll put the goggles on. Then we'll put the helmet. And one new aspect of this version is a pulley system, which I have devised here to help me safely remove the helmet from my head once we get to the warning level. Now, you might be thinking, I can just lift it off with my hands, and that's what I thought at first. But the thing you got to remember, and I got to remember, and this is the reason I built this pulley system, is that the exterior of the helmet gets so hot at around like a level 10 that it's too hot to touch. It burned my hands quite badly one time, and I called that one a failure too. I put that in the journal as a failure because it burned my hands so badly. So I think I need to lift this a little bit. Let me get this up a little bit higher. think that'll work good. It needs to be up a little bit higher for it to work. So, and then I got to make sure that I have the wires connected incorrectly, which I can do. Hopefully. And is this working? Yes. Okay, so, and the wires, I do have the wires connected incorrectly, except for this one. The hearing thing makes it a little bit different for the helmet. So, I gotta adjust that. Okay. So I guess I'll stare at this thing, and what I want to do now is I want to turn this up to level 5, just so I can get accustomed to the unpleasantness of it again. Level 5. But what I did recently was I did a test. I ran a test and I recorded all the sensations at the different levels. Level 0 through 4, there was no sensation. Level 5, which is unpleasant, which is where we are now, unpleasant. And then level 6 was, it's a little bit hard to see here, uncomfortable. Level 7, mildly painful. 8, painful. I'm going to turn it up to 8 now. 8. Yeah. Okay, that corroborates my previous finding, because it is painful. Now what we're hoping for is that the alarm will not sound until I get to level 12. And then it does, I will pull on the pulley system, which is okay. So we're at 8 now. It's painful. 9 will be very painful. 10, extremely painful. 11, intolerable. And 12, I wrote something down, but I can't couldn't read my own writing after that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it up to 10, which is 10 is extremely painful. Okay, the alarm hasn't sounded, so everything's working good so far. The alarm shouldn't go off until 12, and it hasn't. So that's good. That's good. Okay, I'm going to turn it up to 11 now. I'm going to turn it just up to 11. 11. It's just 11. Yeah. I just want to leave it here. I'll leave it here for a second just to make sure that the system doesn't give us a false read. Okay, alright. Now I'm going to go up to 12 and see if the alarm goes off. Okay, here it goes. 12. Yeah. So, yeah, that was a success. That was a success.